Welcome back to the channel, man. And we know right now, in this moment in time in the markets, a lot of people just giving up on crypto. But the real ones know what's going on behind the scenes and know blockchain technology is only going to continue to grow. Yes, we are in a downtrend right now. Yes, some people might be projecting a bear market and all those different things. Me personally, I don't care about cycles because when a project is building, they're creating something that could potentially change the world and change how we do business. You want to pay attention to those projects no matter what the price is doing. Who cares about price action, especially if you are trying to compound more? And we know that Avax, the Avalanche blockchain, has a lot of things in store, man. We've been seeing real world assets continuously getting added on the Avax blockchain. As far as liquidity with real world assets, we see that's continuing to go up for Avax. We see a lot of these or one of the ETFs that is buying Avax, they're actually, or they just bought some more, man. So many things going on, so many bullish narratives. And like I said, I do believe in the tokenization of all assets in the future. Now, is it going to be on Avax? Not everything. You know, I do think different blockchains will hold and have different use cases, but Avax is one of those blockchains that's been seriously pushing tokenization of real world assets, being able to see ownership of different assets that we own in real life. That's stocks, bonds, equities, real estate, whatever the case may be. Whatever you can verify or whatever you have to be able to verify that you own, it will be on blockchain technology. And Avax is that blockchain that's going to be one of those go-tos for institutions to build. So today, man, we're going to talk about those things and much, much more. But before we get deep into it, hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn on those notifications. Now, let's get into it. Where we at with price today? Oh man, right now we are at $13.87 for Avax. We are ranked 21 out of all the cryptocurrencies out there. And today, in the past 24 hours, we are up 4%. Now, I do think that this is a crazy buying opportunity for Avax. If you see what's actually going on, man, just by simply buying and holding on the dips, you can win. You can win. I know it sounds crazy. I know, like, Tro, man, I don't know. Price is going down. What you think? I'm telling you what I think. I think long term, these prices ain't gonna matter, especially for projects that's building. Now we can see market cap is at $5.95 billion at this moment in time. Volume is at $415 million, up 46%. And the community sentiment is still 84% bullish, 16% bearish. And you know me, guys, y'all know what I say, zoom out. Just because back in 2020, we once upon a time, you know, had a $3 Avax, a $3 to $5 Avax back in 2020. And that just goes to say, man, dollar cost averaging over long periods of time. And I know that really don't even feel like a long period because we all remember back in 2020 when COVID hit and, you know, 2021 when prices were going crazy for the crypto space. It don't seem that far or that long ago, but that was what, 4 years ago, about to be 4.5 years ago, actually. And then in 2020, that's 5 years. So we about to be 6 years, you know, since a $3 Avax. And if we look in terms of, you know, equities and stocks and things like that, people literally wait lifetimes to see, you know, 200 to 1,000% gains. And, you know, in the crypto space, we didn't got so spoiled that we see, you know, maybe over 100% gains within a couple of months, you know. And I think a lot of people from the crypto space is really not embracing how assets move and work, especially a new asset class. If you go on Twitter right now it's so many people who just doom and gloom. I don't even pay attention to that because you got people who troll, you got your doom and gloomers. Then, you got some positive people, but you kind of got to weed through it and create your own narrative and know why you're buying that specific crypto. You can't just be going off of what I'm saying. You can't be going off of what another YouTuber said, another content creator is saying. Know why you're investing in an asset. If you don't know why you're buying the asset, you should not be buying that asset. And why, Tro, are you buying Avax? I told you already. I believe in the long term, as far as the growth of tokenizing assets that's in real life. And Avax is really, pushing that narrative. And I do think that with being able to verify everything on the blockchain is going to just make life easier in the future, just like how the internet made life easier. I think Web3 is going to make life easier by being able to easily show ownership of the assets that you have. And not only that, just with all the institutions coming to Avax because of the tokenization, I think it's going to be seen as one of those institutional type of blockchains. Not to say retail won't get involved, not like the little guys like you and me, not to say that we won't get involved on the Avax blockchain, but it's really attracting a lot of institutions. And I do think that's going to, further help the narrative of Avax and then also attract more retail investors. So a lot of things going on for Avax, man. And we can see, like I said, real world assets, guys, tokenization. So a year ago, Avax as a top 3 blockchain by tokenized assets seemed impossible. Here we are. We went from 115 million to 881 million in a year, where liquidity has dropped across the whole market. I'm a firm believer that the fundamentals will eventually be reflected. Until then, zoom out and understand asset tokenization is the future of the space. And that's the same thesis I got, shout out to Emperor Osmo. But same thesis I have for the crypto space. I think some of the things I think is going to be big is gaming, tokenization, real world assets, AI. I don't know how they're going to incorporate AI just quite yet, but I do think AI is going to play a big part, especially in the Web3 space. So those are the things that I've kind of been really, focusing on as far as what projects kind of revolve around those things. Just because that is, I believe that the tokenization of assets is going to be huge. It's going to be one of the biggest use cases for blockchain technology. Now, something else, man, Avax remains the technology for real use cases. So here, Toyota Blockchain Group is exploring a completely new blockchain architecture, many purpose-built chains for a single project. Let's talk about it.
Very recently, Toyota announced that they'll be building multiple L1s on Avalanche to track the entire life cycle of their vehicle, just from the point of purchase for retail. The way you get in line to buy a Toyota vehicle will be an NFT on a particular L1. Tracking of vehicle upkeep, etc., will be on separate chains. And so these are all things that you can't do on a single chain system. So a single chain system like Ethereum and Solana would fill up if they were to handle all of the world's transactions.
So just, y'all see it, real use cases, guys. And, in the crypto space, it's a lot of BS. Just like in equities, it's a lot of BS out there. But if we see that something is actually having real use cases, you got to really pay attention to that. And with this news, how Toyota plans on showing the entire life cycle of a car, that's a beautiful thing. It'll be able to show when the last, oil change, you got your headlights fixed, whatever the case may be, man. It will show this on blockchain, being able to verify these things, and that makes life super easier, man. And once we actually go through these things, you're going to see like how, the tokenization or putting real world assets on blockchain actually improves people's lives. And last but not least, man, Avax won the treasury. So they're now holding 13.8 plus million Avax. So between November 5th and the 23rd, Avax One acquired an additional 9.3 million Avax for an aggregated price of $110 million, reflecting a weighted average price of $11.73. Now we know this is over the counter. What is over the counter, Tro? Well, they got their Avax at a discounted price between the 5th and the 23rd at $11.73. Now, a lot of people didn't like this. A lot of the people who hold Avax, a lot of community members, they didn't like it. It was like, how y'all gonna sell a treasury at discounted prices but didn't do it for the community? And like I said, man, a lot of these people also are crybabies. Like it's like, okay, I feel you. Don't get me wrong. I feel you. Like, they should have, let the community in on a cheaper price. But these institutions and these treasuries are actually helping Avax in the long term. And if we just being quite honest, guys, $11.73, since the price has dropped so much for Avax, and we at a $13.88 Avax, they really didn't get a bigger discount than us, guys. They didn't get too much of a bigger discount. Yes, it's a discount, but if you've been buying since Avax went under, $20 in dollar cost averaging, then you'll get close enough to what they have. But at the end of the day, I do think this just overall helps the Avax ecosystem, helps Avax just continue to build and continue to create that driving force for people to consider Avax. So they said this brings our total Avax holdings to over 13.8 million and marks a significant milestone in Avax One's effort to build a leading digital asset treasury platform designed for scale, transparency, and long-term value creation. The company holds additional cash on its balance sheets and intends to remain highly optimistic as it evaluates further purchases of Avax tokens as well as stock buyback, both of which we believe represent compelling value at current levels. Growing Avax per share for our shareholders lays the foundation for our vision of building an on-chain financial economy powered by the Avalanche blockchain. We are committed to consistently scaling our Avax ownership by deploying sound yield strategies for our existing holdings as well as additional purchases in the open market at opportune timing. Okay, Avax One is building an institutional financial infrastructure company to architect the on-chain financial economy powered by the Avalanche network. As part of the vision, the company aims to become the largest Avax digital asset treasury and premier public market vehicle for long-term exposure to Avalanche's growth, man. So a lot to break down and compact in that. But like I said, we are seeing institutions, seeing digital asset treasuries, DATs pop up more on the scene. Avax actually has a couple DATs or a couple of digital asset treasuries that they have out right now, or that people are building right now. So this is just the beginning of something beautiful to come. And I'm really just blessed to be able to be a part of this, guys. And I think anybody who's investing in the crypto space should look at it that way as well. If you're not over leveraging yourself, if you're, having fun, actually learning about this technology, because we are still in the infancy stages. A lot of people are, including myself. I was once upon a time rushing, trying to get rich, man. It's a process, and you got to trust that process. And when you buying great assets over time, they're going to show appreciation. So, and this is really just me, kind of talking to myself at the end of the day. But also anybody who needs to hear this, just dollar cost average, buy on the dips, and just wait, man. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't try to get rich overnight. Buy great assets, which in my opinion, like I said, Avax is one of the great assets that I will buy, and just wait over time. So Crypto Tro, that's my video. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, turn on those notifications, man. I'm out of here.